What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be discussing Zach Wilson and where he will land in the NFL draft coming up next month. Now, if you followed us since the beginning of the college football season, you know that we are very, very high on Zach Wilson. In my opinion, he's better than Justin Fields. Now, when you start comparing him to Mac Jones, it's a question of what kind of scheme and what kind of talent are you looking for. Obviously, Mac Jones, like Tua said, is a more mobile Tom Brady. He's not going to be a Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Kellen Mond kind of quarterback. But I think when it comes to arm talent and accuracy and things like that, the two kind of go head to head. Now, obviously, Trevor Lawrence, undisputed number one pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That leaves me with three options for where Zach Wilson will land. Either number 2 to the New York Jets, number 8 to the Carolina Panthers, or I believe Washington will make a play up in the draft to try to go get him. I'm not a huge fan of Wilson at 2, just because I'm not completely sold on Sam Darnold being a problem for the Jets. I think most of their problems are potentially with the O-line and wide receiver core. I think there's a chance that the New York Jets take Penei Sewell at 2 just to beef up that O-line a little bit, which opens the door for Devontae Smith at 3 to Miami. But again, I'm just not sold on Sam Darnold being the main problem for the Jets. There's flashes of talent with Sam Darnold that you're like, okay, this guy's for real. It's just he don't really have the pieces around him to allow him to do that. The New York Jets finished 32nd in points per game. They barely had over a 1 touchdown to interception ratio. They threw 16 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. That's not great. Now, you look at that and you say, oh, they got to have a quarterback. Not necessarily. So that's why I'm not high on the Jets taking Zach Wilson. Now, Zach Wilson had 15 career rushing touchdowns. Last season, he passed for 3,700 yards, 33 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He was third in touchdowns. He was second in completion percentage and third in yards in the NCAA. He led BYU to an 11-1 season. This is a team that outscored their opponents by like nearly 300 points, 250, something like that. So BYU had a ton of success. Their only loss was on the road to Coastal Carolina at the last play of the game. They lost by a yard. Like, Zach Wilson was the core. Besides that defense, they were the core to that BYU team and their success. They put up 44 points per game last season. I think that's, again, it's something that goes back to Wilson taking care of the ball. He didn't turn the ball over. He scored, I think, 43 touchdowns total over the season. So, again, Carolina at 8 is where it makes really good sense to me. I could see them moving up and trying to take the Falcons pick. Maybe I don't think the Eagles or Bengals would give theirs up. The Lions at 7 are a possibility, but moving up for 1 pick is just unrealistic to me. Carolina finished 24th in points per game, 16 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. I believe they're trying to get away from Teddy Bridgewater, even if they're not. Teddy Bridgewater is not going to be the guy to win you a Super Bowl. Just in my opinion, I think there's too many good quarterbacks out there that he couldn't get you past. So I think Zach Wilson would be a good quarterback to take and build for the future with. Maybe learn behind Teddy Bridgewater for a year or two, and just see what happens. Carolina was 24th in points per game, 16 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. This is Matt Rule at Baylor, who put up a ton of points. This is Joe Brady, who came from LSU, who put up a ton of points with Joe Burrow. It just makes sense. Zach Wilson is their guy at 8. Now, the last and final team I'll talk about is the Washington football team, which will inevitably change their name at some point. But they don't really have a quarterback. They got rid of Alex Smith. I think they kept Taylor Heinicke, signed him to a long-term deal. But I could be completely wrong, and I think most of us would be completely wrong in saying this if he was to prove us wrong. He's not your franchise quarterback. I think he's a good A.J. McCarron, Chase Daniel, somebody like that can come in and maintain. But he's not going to win you a Super Bowl either. So if you're willing to get rid of Alex Smith and keep him, you're going to draft a quarterback. Now, here's the problem. You have the 19th overall pick. You're 25th in points per game right behind Carolina. You had 16 touchdowns, 16 interceptions just like Carolina did, but you have the 19th pick, which means you're going to have to make a play into the top 10 to even hope to get Zach Wilson, or you're going to have to make a play inside the top 15 to even hope to get Mac Jones. Now, in my opinion, Washington defense is pretty stout. Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, Ryan Anderson, Jonathan Allen, Chase Young, like their D line is pretty dang good. Secondary could use some work. Linebacker could use some. But at the end of the day, you got to have a quarterback. You're not going to do anything without a quarterback. In my opinion, Washington needs a quarterback, and they need a wide receiver. Somebody to counterfeit Terry McLaurin. So, again, Washington makes sense, but what are they going to do to get into a position to draft Zach Wilson? I would love to see Zach Wilson in Washington with Steve Turner and Ron Rivera. I just don't know if it's going to happen. I think if for some reason Washington stays at 19, I think you see them pick Kyle Trask or Stanford's quarterback or something like that in a later round. But for the time being, I would like to see Washington make a play as Zach Wilson, maybe try to go after Detroit's pick. I don't think Atlanta would give theirs up. Detroit might, just kind of depending on who they like in the draft in the first round, what they're kind of going after. I think they go defense. But again, in my opinion, I think Carolina is going to be where Zach Wilson ends up. I'd love to see him in Washington. Would absolutely love to see him in Washington. I don't think this is the year where Washington gets the quarterback they want. But I do think this is the year where Carolina gets a franchise quarterback and makes a run at the playoffs. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what team you want me to do next. Maybe I'll pull off the home team Chargers. Going to carry a Falcons video here soon. I got Jalen Waddle on the horizon as well. So yeah, just let me know what players you guys want to see. And then hit that subscribe button and follow us for more